absolutely fundamental to its future growth prospects. That's Huawei, that's ICT, obviously that's 5G, but that also includes things like high-speed rail, cloud computing, a lot of AI-related things, energy, renewable energy in particular, these things that require some high-tech inputs as being fundamental to its prospects to overcoming what economists call the middle-income trap.
I thought it was interesting that when the U.S. applied a Huawei export ban, but Latin American countries didn't follow suit. Why do you think they hesitated?
It all comes down, I think, in this particular case to economics.
Did you hear what she said? Did you hear what she said? That whenever there was a lawsuit, a suit, they
to manage high levels of debt at the moment, and
in Latin America when
oh my Lord. That there was a suit, and some countries part of these initiative didn't do it. Do you think that like the countries that didn't follow the suit? What will happen if you follow suit and then all of a sudden, oh, you follow? I'm gonna tell you the research that I'm doing. That's what he said. He says that some countries place against harmful practices like the wrongdoers. Yes, that's right. That's right. And some people did follow that were be that or like trying to hold their things that they provided for after they know that it's right. Doing stuff like I know whatever you is they reaching to
No, I'm talking about, bro.
countries that are coming out of the pandemic or are struggling to manage high levels of debt at the moment and have many other objectives that they're pursuing.
Along with selling its tech to South American markets, China needs the continent's critical raw materials such as lithium, copper, and nickel, which are
China needs the raw materials. So basically, it's like, I'm gonna take raw materials from you. And what they gonna take? They're gonna take like the clothes they give us. No, they're actually giving Latin America the clothes. Cheap. Yes, but is it worth it that I'm just giving you a piece of clothing? No.
No.
Where's money at?
are essential for making batteries and ultimately further the green energy transition. It is estimated that up to 60% of the world's lithium reserves are located in the lithium triangle, a region.
Battery, the charge for it comes from these places. Okay. I the raw material.
Includes China, Argentina, and India. Lithium and copper are both destinations. These mining firms holds more than 20% of the mining firm estimates. China itself has been the largest trading partner in markets since 2009. It's not there. China has been actively engaged in emergency financing to customers' financial distress, completely the purview of multilateral development funds such as the IMF and the World Bank. China's state-owned power plants $236 billion to the region and distributed $123 loans loans relatively to Colombia and Venezuela. These loans typically hold lower interest rates than countries with access to public markets, and are also accompanied by different conditions. For example, Chinese loans are sometimes blocked for those that agree to higher Chinese infrastructure loans. The loans are also denominated in yuan, which serves the current purpose of facilitating China's local currency.
Principles of economy. Here, you have the computer from the school. How much does this cost, more or less? I don't know. 7. How much does an Apple MacBook Pro cost?
A lot.
Let's say 1,300. Yeah. Basic, right? 1,300. For me, it is convenient to trade with this one because it's cheaper than me trading with a MacBook Pro. Okay?
Right.
So let's say I prefer to keep trading with China because they're giving me yuan. This is yuans. This is cheaper. This is money cheaper than paying with a MacBook. I don't have a MacBook over here, but imagine that I have a MacBook. Right. That's why that is the catch. Okay? If you trade with them, do you have any other option of refinancing? You are not. You are not in that issue. Principles of economy.
While at the same time reducing the need for creditor countries to use US dollars. It also means that when countries run into trouble, as in the case of Bolivia and Ecuador, they're at the mercy of Chinese creditors.
When countries are struggling economically, can they even afford to push back against China interests?
Most Latin American countries have a very serious debt with China, and we will see what are the consequences of that very intense and complex
relationship.
Western countries haven't reacted in a manner to give alternatives to the present situation. And this is also something that must be thought by Europe and the US on how to deal with the matter, because the limits of Latin American countries are quite intense, and the alternatives very limited in terms.
Indeed, since the 2008 global financial crisis, American companies have moved away from the region.
We saw not just U.S. companies, but a lot of other companies and partners exit the region, and that includes companies from Latin American countries, which in many cases divested from major projects. This created major openings, very large openings for Chinese companies to come in and invest in strategic sectors.
Venezuela is a notable beneficiary of Chinese loans. In 2000.
From all of these loans, look at all of these places in America. They're using China loans. 60 billion, 31 billion, Ecuador. And these over here, Ecuador, Argentina, Bolivia, Jamaica. You know Jamaica is a tiny little island? Look at how much in debt they are. Mexico is big, okay? I don't even know.
Of course.
Trinidad and Tobago, you know that there are 2 tiny little islands in the Caribbean. They usually go in cruises. And Dominican Republic, 0.6. Guyana, I don't know what that is, but it has 0.5. Venezuela, what did you do? What did you do?
And that's from 2022.
2017, Corona with 2002 data. In 2007, they entered Venezuela and China a loan for oil agreement. What do you think that is? What does that mean? Exactly.
Is Evan Rosario in there?
Who?
Evan Rosario?
No.
No, he's in ROTC.
Okay, thank you.
That means that $60 billion in oil, they have to repay it with $60 billion in yuan they have to repay back in oil.
In 2007, it entered into a loan oil agreement with China, getting money in exchange for partial oil payments. The weight of U.S. sanctions and economic and political troubles domestically caused its oil production to dwindle. China was obliged to grant the country a grace period to repay its debt. Ruben Gonzalez Vicente says that since then, the Chinese have been more discerning about lending.
Obviously,
They started
they have to be more discerning.
The loans that they have given in the region and beyond. Between 2021 and 2022,
I would be.
Chinese policy banks needed to
Don't give me money you don't
renegotiate
pay.
loans for a value of $52 billion, and this was problematic. These were loans that were not being paid back, that were not turning a profit. Venezuela became a big example of what could go wrong if you give huge loans to a country that is not performing very well economically. So I think this is being rethought, and the focus is now more on smaller loans that have been through proper due diligence rather than big loans that only have the guarantee of a sovereign government telling you, yes, we are going to pay it back.
Ultimately, as China's ambitions grow, it will continue to rely on key natural resources from Latin America. And as long as Latin American political leaders welcome the investment and trade that China offers, China's influence will continue to grow.
That's it. There's nothing else. You see how interesting? You see why China and Latin America now is related? But Latin America is happy to do so because they're getting their roads and building this up. Those dollars. But listen,
Interesting.
are we doing the same thing now that we're giving away this money to you know what, something else country? For free? You can answer the question. Yes, we need to answer the questions. I basically did it at the beginning and throughout the video, putting out some, but that's it.
That's on Canvas.
Huh?
This due today?
It was yesterday.
Oh, I wasn't here.
You changed the list for today.
All right.
But yeah, you see how interesting it is, how other countries affect each other. That's very cool. Now, if you have any missing assignments, we can go ahead and start them or let's do something about it, okay? Okay, I just changed to do that for today.
Okay. Is this a charger for a computer?
Hmm?
This?
Yes, online.
You think it will work on mine?
Mm-hmm.
It will?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I do. Okay. What's the assignment called?
It's called Why is China? Why China is eyeing Latin America? That's how it's called. Why is China eyeing Latin America? Sí, sí.
Girl, close the door. Oh.
The only thing you have to look for part two is say what you did in part one. This is the easiest, then this, and lastly.
Bro. Or even the video show.
Okay, do one over and I can go over the number. So what we turn all of it in on paper? Yeah.
It's so quiet up in there, bitch. What have you been doing?
You are already in. So you already in? You started last November. Is this missing? No.
Bro, what the fuck? Miss Bella, you still have your food right there.
Huh?
You still have your food right there. ¿No te vas a comer? Se va a poner fría.
What were they saying? I don't remember them saying that. I thought they were saying like we're. Yeah.
What?
We're number 5. They said
Because they were reading Almost right now. Almost right now. What is that? This is what she looking like. Always like.
You know, I'm trying to figure out, she's trying to say, compliment or. You're doing it too
I fight for justice.
It could be. No, that's more like a phrase, like justice, like.
Hold on, cause why the fuck did this grade so I wasn't put in my grade?
No, sugar pie, no.
I don't even know why you tried that. I don't even know why you could say it. In her paper,
Right here. Just like this.
How old is that I would say?
You know the girl. I don't know. Okay.
My name. Oh, yeah. Right. Hey, now that was right.
I'm sorry, you better be different.
I said that. Oh, okay. Oh, don't mind. I did not. Here. I can ask okay. Yeah, I think you can talk to
All right, the question. Whoa, okay. I mean, that's not hard, it's like,
Which one?
I mean, we.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, but did you really think about so she can.
I know to read these words. Yeah, B-R-R.
Huh? You say yeah.